So today I'm showing you how to make my go-to vegan granola recipe that's completely oil-free, gluten-free, super crispy, and perfect to go on your smoothies, on your yogurt bowls, as cereal, or even as a delicious snack. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Mary Allison, but you can call me Mary A. On this channel, I teach you tips, tricks, and recipes to a plant-based lifestyle. So if that's something you like, then go ahead and subscribe below. All right, so as you know, we are making my go-to vegan granola recipe. This is just my base recipe, and fall is coming around the corner. So I also have a recipe for pumpkin spice granola, and then when Christmas comes around, it's gingerbread granola. As you see, I just really love granola. Any type of it just makes me think of fall anyway. This recipe, whenever I make it, it always makes my house smell like fall. But today we are making my base granola recipe, which is still super fall-y to me. So with that said, let's hop into the recipe. So now these are all of the ingredients that you're going to need for this amazing, delicious granola. So first we're starting with these oats. I like to use gluten-free organic sprouted oats. It makes it a little more crispy. It's better than using like instant oats, but I use like 2.5 cups of that. We have 1 cup of pumpkin seeds. Again, makes it kind of fall-y, which is fun. And then I have some coconut flakes, about 1/2 cup, and then 1/2 cup of almond flour, and then about 1/4 cup, maybe a little bit more than 1/4 cup of hemp seeds. I am using almond butter. So I like to use almond butter instead of like any oil. So this is how I make it crispy and give it kind of like some more like healthy fats in it. Almond butter or any nut or seed butter is not stripped of its nutrients and fiber. So that is why I use a nut butter or seed butter instead of oil. Next, I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, which that's kind of optional, but I like it. I think it gives it a little more flavor and depth. And then 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You can use more if you want to. 1 cup of raisins that we add at the very end. All right, so we also have 3 really spotty bananas. So if you have any like old bananas left around and you're like, what am I gonna do with these? You can make this granola. This is what makes your granola super sweet. So you don't even have to add maple syrup or any kind of sugar at all. It all comes from the bananas. So the first step is to get all of your wet ingredients together. So first, you take your bananas, you peel them up like a monkey. I don't know why I said that. I guess I like monkeys. So then just break them up, put them in your bowl. I like to use 3 bananas because I have tested this recipe many times with like different amounts of spotty bananas, and 3 has been perfect. All right, so then once you have all your bananas in the bowl, you just mash them all together. And since they're spotty and brown, they mash really easily. So if you use like yellow bananas, they don't mash as well, and they're not as sweet. Okay, I decided to upgrade to my masher, whatever this is called. Maybe it'll go a little faster this way. So the bananas are nice and mushy. I've tried this recipe by blending it too, and that works, but I think it's almost a little bit, again, like too much moisture, so I just like to mash it. So now we're using about 1/4 cup of almond butter, maybe a little bit more. You want it to be super runny, so the runnier the better. Okay, next we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This just gives it some more flavor. I love vanilla, so. Next, we have 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract, and this is optional. Then we have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and if you like cinnamon, you can add more. All right, so now when you go to mix it, you want to use a whisk just because it combines it a little bit easier, better than a spatula or a fork. Go for a whisk. So you just mix it all together until it's nice and combined. Obviously there's still a little bit of banana chunks, which is totally fine. It makes it really good, trust me. And we're gonna add in some pink salt into this mixture. This is key too. Adding salt to anything that's like sweet really enhances the flavor. Okay, also this smells really freaking delicious, and it smells like fall to me. Okay, now let's taste it. That's really good. Seriously, like, don't skimp on the salt. So now moving on to our dry ingredients, we have 2.5 cups of gluten-free sprouted organic oats. Use whatever kind of oats you want, that was a mouthful. Next, we add in our pumpkin seeds. So this is 1 cup of pumpkin seeds. Then I have half a cup of coconut flakes. And then we have about 1/4 of a cup of hemp hearts, hemp seeds, whatever you want to call them. And then we have some almond flour. I've noticed that like adding almond flour to my granola helps it like form into more of like a crisp and like you have bigger chunks. All right, so we have all of our dry ingredients in the bowl, and then we're just going to mix it together. This time we won't be using a whisk. All right, next we just need to mix it all together until it's fully combined. This is how I like it, like kind of wet. But if you feel like adding more oats or more seeds or some kind of nut, you totally can. But I think this is looking good to me. All right, so now since our granola is evenly coated, we are going to put it on the pan. So I like to use a baking stone, but if you don't have a baking stone, I would highly recommend a like baking tray with silicone mat. And then if you don't even have that, then I would use parchment paper on a baking tray. So then you just want to spread it all over your baking tray. And if you like clumps like me, you really want it to like stick together, so you want to press it all down. Okay, so I think I am gonna put some on this little one. I like mine thinner because it makes it a little more crisp and it like bakes a little bit less time. Okay, so we have everything pressed on the pan and almost ready to go in the oven. Before we put it in the oven, I like to give it an extra sprinkle of cinnamon and salt. So our pans are ready to go in the oven. You wanna make sure your oven is preheated to 325, and then you're gonna place both pans, if you have to, in the oven side by side. Well, mine can go side by side because they're like small enough to do that, but if not, you can place one on top of the other, it's fine. All right, so then you're gonna time it for 15 minutes to do a first check of it. And if you're like, Mary A, you forgot the raisins. No, I didn't forget the raisins. They go in at the very end, and I'm gonna show you a special trick so that the raisins and the granola stick together in the nice little clusters so that the raisins don't fall to the bottom, because I always had that problem. My raisins would just fall to the bottom of my granola and you'd have to like dig for them, but I found a trick and I'm gonna show you that. It smells so good. Oh my gosh, I wanna eat it right now. So the oven just went off at 15 minutes. Now I'm gonna check them. This point is when you want to also try and flip them. All right, here we go. Flip it over. I think it needs to go longer before we really flip it. So it's not quite ready to flip. So we're putting them back in the oven for like 10 minutes or so. That 10 minutes went by really fast, but okay, I think we can flip it. So even when your granola is ready, like for good, it will be still kind of tender, and so you'll just have to wait for it to crisp up again when it cools. We flip it so both sides can get pretty crisp. Okay, so if you do like soft baked granola, you can take it out at this stage and it'll be super good, because I've been like munching on it again because I'm hungry, I need a snack. And it tastes really good. It's just softer, but so if you want yours more crisp, definitely put it back in the oven, which is what I'm gonna do. All right, so as you can see, there's not really like a set time that I let my granola go for. I just kind of like check on it as I go to make sure it gets like perfectly golden and crisp, not overdone and not underdone. So you might find yourself having to check on your granola as well. Okay, so the timer went off and it's time to look at our granola. Looks like it is done to me. See how it's nice and crispy and golden? And then it's still going to be a little bit tender. So again, you just want to let it sit and harden and cool on its own. So now it is time for the raisins. You want to put the raisins on as soon as they come out of the oven. That way your raisins will stick to the granola and you're not digging around in your bowl of granola like me, trying to find some raisins to go with the granola. So our granola is done, but now you just need to let it harden and cool on its own. All right, so here's a few fun ways to use your granola. So obviously you can eat it as a snack, which I do that a lot. It's so good. You can put it in a smoothie, like on top of a smoothie or a smoothie bowl, put it on top of a like yogurt bowl. And my all-time favorite is fruit nachos. So like apples, bananas, peaches, really any fruit that you want. You can sprinkle the granola on top of that and drizzle some almond butter or nut or seed butter of your choice. All right, so if you're needing a little bit more help on your plant-based journey, don't forget to download my free 5-step plant-based plant-based success guide found in the description below. You can also join our Facebook community, which is the Healthy Plant-Based Lifestyle group, and that is also found in the description below. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Mary_Allison, where you can get a little more behind the scenes look on my plant-based journey. So with that said, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notifications so that you never miss a video from me. I will see y'all next time.